For anyone that watches my channel, you would know I have two fire alarm systems. I have one fire alarm system in this garage building that I'm stood beside right now, and I also have a fire alarm system in the house. Now, if you're completely new here, that's what I've got. I've got two separate systems. However, they're both tied together where they will put each other into a supervisory, which is not a full alarm condition, but a lesser priority. So you'll still know that the other building's gone off, but it's not quite, you need to evacuate this building type thing. I realize that this is my house and this is abnormal, and I've got full videos showing the install of it and everything, and really it was done for educational purposes to show other people how these systems work, as well as to enable me to make these videos that I do. So that's why it's installed, and it also gives way better protection and has been working way better than the residential alarms. But I just thought I'd say that, as I've had quite a lot of hate lately on it and people pretty upset with me, so that's the reason for that. However, as long as there have been two systems, there's always been people asking, can you set them both off at once? And theoretically, yes you can. Is it very likely? No, but you certainly can. So we're going to be doing that in a kind of abnormal way today, which you guys will see in a little bit here. Is how it works is each system has a monitor module, which is a conventional zone, and it is monitoring the relay alarm contacts on the other system. So each system has its own monitor module that is monitoring the relay on the other system. I've also got separate alarms in the house, which are to indicate that the garage building is alarmed, because the supervisory on the panel and annunciator are kind of distance from the sleeping areas, so it wouldn't quite get my attention because my phone's not going to be on at night to get my alarm notification. So it's important that I actually am able to hear it. The garage building is different. That just gets a normal supervisory. But anyways, that's a lot of talking here. Let me actually walk around and show you what we're going to do. So the house system is here. That's one of the systems to set off. And the garage system is here. That's another one of the systems to set off. Now you could pull a fire alarm in the one building, go out, pull the fire alarm in the other building. Or what I thought we should do, because it would be instant activation, is reprogram that non-latching, the tracking supervisory, which just means that once the alarm condition restores, it'll go back to normal without having to reset it. I thought, why don't we program that as a normal fire alarm instead of a supervisory? So as soon as one goes off, it'll instantly trip the other ones, because that's what a lot of people were suggesting me to do originally, not realizing the issues with doing that, with trying to reset two systems that will be like a dog chasing its own tail, putting each other into alarm. I've seen it firsthand in real buildings. In fact, with three systems, it's not a good setup. That will mean I only need to pull the alarm in one building, and that will set off this building as well as set off the other one. Now we'll be pulling the alarm in the house. Allow me to explain that. That's because it's the house that has this separate garage B chime strobe that will go off. So if we were to set off the other building, that would mean that we would need to reprogram all of this, because the supervisory wouldn't be a supervisory anymore if it was set to an alarm, so the NAC that's correlated to it wouldn't go off properly. So it's easier just to initiate this system, which is going to put it into full alarm anyways, and then that will alarm the other system if we reprogram the supervisory as an alarm. And then because that system went into alarm, it'll set this off. I know. It sounds really confusing, and it kind of is. But if you watch my video on connecting the two together and see how that's programmed, that might make more sense. But anyways, to what we're doing today, let's go ahead and do that. First thing we need to do is reprogram the garage system, because as I just mentioned, this one would be a pain to take that supervisory and change it into an alarm, because then no longer this will go off, which in my opinion kind of defeats the purpose of doing this, as I think it'd be cool to not only see both systems going off at once, because that's what everybody's been saying, but also have these two devices going off right beside each other. Is that likely to happen? Absolutely not. And not even ideal, because then you have mixed signals, which aren't legal in Canada, but because it's not used for the same purpose, it's not both used as a fire alarm, I think that's okay. So let's go to the garage and reprogram that supervisory. Unfortunately, I don't have a full device list made up for this system like I do with the house. The house is really nice. I have every device labeled, what it is, what type of device it is, where it is, the address of it, even the bell circuits are labeled, modules. It's all done that way, so it makes it far, far easier. Because if you think I remember what this monitor module is set to down here, I have no idea. But we will figure it out. So we'll open up our panel. We will go into programming. We'll go level 2 password. And we will do point program. This will be a module. And we are going to edit a module, so number 3. And this is where we don't know. Let's just try 17, because I think that's getting to the higher end. Okay, water flow. We're getting close. This must be 18 then. 18. No, okay, water flow must be set to the highest address then. We'll just go through every single one. Starting after number 4, how about? There it is. So that's set to supervisory AR. So we're going to change that from type. And let's just change it to monitor. Yeah. So let me briefly explain now what will happen. When the house fire alarm system goes into alarm, the relay contacts on that panel will close the circuit. Fire alarms are a normally open system where in normal condition the circuit's open, and when it closes, that's an alarm. So when the house system goes off, it'll close the relays and activate this module that's monitoring those relays. This will see that that circuit's closed because the house is in alarm. It'll trip this module, which will trip this panel into alarm, setting this panel into alarm. But then the house panel that's monitoring this one's going to see that this relay right here is shorted out because the house system's the same way, where it has a monitor module monitoring this panel in the same way. So it's then going to see, well, I'm in alarm, but I also am getting a supervisory in the garage, so I've got to set off the chime strobe because that's how it's programmed. So that's exactly how it's going to work. At least I think it is. If my thinking's thinking right, that's how it should go. So I would set up a camera in here, but there's really nothing too special to see. You may think, well, you'll see the supervisory and alarm both at once, right? Well, kind of. I'll explain that one really quick and then we'll get into it. An alarm condition is a higher priority than supervisory, as a fire alarm is, well, a fire alarm, it's a big problem. You're not going to usually have a fire alarm, and nor should you usually have a supervisory, but they are often used in manners where they are supervising something. It can be used kind of like a trouble, but more of a purpose-made trouble, if that makes any sense. Like using it to monitor a valve tamper. You don't want that valve to be closed, however, that is something that may occur and is not the same priority as an active fire alarm. Because of that, the fire alarm will always override the supervisory, so your piezo that usually beeps pretty quickly for supervisory and goes steady for alarm, it'll still go steady because it's a higher priority than the supervisory. What will it display on screen? It will display the alarm. Again, the alarm is a higher priority than the supervisory. I know I've explained this really long here. I just wanted to make it kind of obvious what's going on because I think that makes it a lot easier to learn than me just all of a sudden doing things and without explaining how they're happening. So we're going to get the dogs outside and then I'm going to go set off this system, which will then set off that system, which then will set off this one into supervisory. Do you guys want to go outside? Want to go outside, Ayla? Okay, well, you don't have to go outside because you're usually pretty chill. Do you want to go outside? Come on, let's go outside. Jackson, come on. Come on. Are you actually going to come outside today? Ayla, come on, let's go. Okay, she does not want to go outside. She just ran up onto the couch, so you can't say I didn't try. Okay, well, the problem one's out. The other one will not listen. Okay, it is now time for activation, and I'll leave this back door open so I can go between buildings, and we'll activate from right here. Oh, we're lit up like a Christmas tree. That was cool with the lights off. So building B is in alarm. The tie and disable also goes. And we also have our zone 1 level 1. We have our fire alarm and our supervisory, but you can see the alarm overrides the supervisory on the screen. Garage monitor is active. Relay shutdown has occurred. Both systems actually are close. You can see that monitor is tripped. And we don't have a right. I explained that wrong. We don't have a supervisor here because we reprogrammed it. That's my bad. But you can see instead of putting that into a supervisor, that put both systems into full alarm. Okay, I think I've let that go long enough, and I think you get the idea here. Now the fun part of trying to silence this all up. I'm trying to think in my head here what we're supposed to do. We can't reset that one, as that's just going to go back into alarm, but we can silence it. See what that sounds like on the annunciator. Yeah, so you can see again, the alarm has overridden the supervisory. Thanks for being a good girl. You just don't care at all, do you? Do you want to go outside? No, you're still chill. First, we'll reset that pull station to get rid of one thing to worry about. And then I'll explain the problem with having two systems tied together in a non-auto resetting scenario, like how it was before where it self-reset. And this is what I was explaining, the difficulty of having systems that put each other into alarm in this method, and why I didn't do it, and why I explained I didn't do it, but some people didn't quite understand. So this is a perfect time to explain why that is. So even though we've silenced the other system, it's still into alarm. And this isn't quite so bad, as that's only going to put this one into a supervisory, but the concept still stays the same, where if we reset this one, that doesn't clear the other one, so then the other one's still an alarm, so it'll put this one back into alarm, or vice versa. This isn't quite that bad, like I said, because they don't put each other into a full alarm, or at least right now the one doesn't. That one doesn't put this one into a full alarm. But I still have to reset this quick enough, and then I can go out there and clear the alarm on that one. Of course, that would only bring back a supervisory, but if it brought back a full alarm, I'd reset this one, and if I wasn't fast enough, if I was slower than the panel's processing time to reset, then I would reset this system. It would temporarily go back to normal, but the other one's still an alarm, so then it would reset off this one, and then I could reset the other one, but then this one would have gone back into alarm. So I think you can see my analogy with the dog chasing its own tail, that you just can't win. So we can reset this one here, and that put everything back to normal. The HVAC shutdown will come back up, but I think I'll just wait. I just won't run over there, because that's not going to put this one back into a full alarm, so it's not going to put that one into alarm again. But if it was set up that way, that they did put each other into alarm, that would happen. I think this is a good chance to wait just to show the problem with that. We shouldn't have to wait too long. That HVAC relay will come back on shortly. So see, that's back to a normal condition, so we'll see how long it takes to realize that there's still a supervisory. There you go. But because that's a tracking supervisory, not a latching or supervisory auto resetting, when we reset this system, there you go, it cleared. So that's the beauty of a non-latching supervisory, and that's why these systems are set up that way, as that is pretty much a necessity. Otherwise that would be so difficult to work on systems. Well, now I'm going to reprogram this back. So I hope that made somewhat of sense what was going on there. I'm not the best teacher. I'm not used to explaining this to people. I know how it works, but trying to explain to others is a whole other story. So I tried my best there, and maybe that makes sense. I don't know. So we'll go back into programming to... Why is this thing so dirty? Whatever. Clean that off later. Point program, module, edit. That was number 5. 5. Fire alarm in-house. 2. Type pull station. We need supervisory AR. On the notifier panel, it's called tracking supervisory. It just means the same thing, that's tracking it. It's not going to latch once it sees it's clear. It'll go back. This is a little different on this panel. Supervisory AR. Yes. Okay, this is reset back to normal. And you heard our supervisor in here clear by itself, so we're gonna be pretty sure that's back to normal, but we'll go ahead and check that with our own eyes. And yes, it is back to normal. HVAC system is running. I'm sorry for making all the noise, Ayla. I can't tell if she forgives us or not. And I'll give you a cookie for your good behavior, for not barking like your idiot brother. Do you want a cookie? Are you alive? Do you want a cookie? Let's go get a cookie. Come on. Come get a cookie. I ain't bringing it to you. You gotta come here. Come get it. Come here. Oh, I'm in the cookie drawer. Yeah, you better get up. I'm gonna get you this big one here. Oh, it broke. Okay, I'll get you 2. Here. Good girl. I don't want to give you a cookie because you're not very nice, but I guess I should. Just don't tell him. He doesn't know. I didn't give her anything. I don't know what you're on about. Alrighty, guys. Well, I think that's going to do it for this video. So if you did enjoy it, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you do have any comments or questions, feel free to leave those down in the comment section down below. And if you do enjoy my channel, make sure to subscribe. Also, if you are interested, I do have an Instagram account at Pickle700 for extra content, stuff posted earlier than you'd see it on the YouTube channel, that sort of thing. Alrighty, guys. Thanks for watching.